Let's dig in.
White House's position that furloughed workers should be paid for their back pay?
I would say it depends on who we're talking about. I can tell you this, the Democrats have put a lot of people in great risk and jeopardy, but it really depends on who you're talking about. But for the most part, we're going to take care of our people. There are some people that really don't deserve to be taken care of, and we'll take care of them in a different way.
Why do you say some federal workers should not get their back pay? Why do you say some?
Ask the Democrats that question.
Ask the Democrats that question. Y'all heard it. I think you heard it. This is Shabazz. This is your brother Shabazz. Grand Rising. Peace to all the positive people in the universe. What's good, Richmond, Virginia, and Hotep to all the Pan African people all across this planet. And if that didn't catch you, whoever is still paying attention past the smoke and mirrors. Now, y'all heard it from the man's mouth. It wasn't a gaffe. It's not a mistake. It's a calculated message. Now, when you connect that message to the threats against Chicago and the whispers of the Insurrection Act, and they ain't even whispers, it reveals a blueprint. I've talked about this blueprint before. Go check out that video. A blueprint for a new American authoritarianism. And they're testing it out on us right now. So in this video, we go break down the code. And like I said, let's dig in. So the headline, the White House is openly threatening to withhold back pay from furloughed workers. Now my heart goes out to all of them. Let's take a note. This is classic psychological operation at play. And it works on two levels. First, it's collective punishment. They're creating pain, and then they're directing the anger. They want those workers and everyone who knows them, everyone who's connected to them, related to them, to be furious, but not at the Republicans who are in control of everything, at the Democrats who have no veto power, who have no political power. It's a scapegoat strategy straight out of the same old divide and conquer playbook that they always use. But that's just one level of the psychological operation. The second one, and quite frankly, it's more insidious. This is what they call a flex. This is a power flex. The man saying, it depends, holds all the power in the world. He knows it. We know it. The reporters in the room know it. He's the one who shut the government down. So for him to then point at the party with no leverage and say it's their fault, it's a master class in gaslighting. Run out there and ask any psychologist. It's like a bully stealing your lunch and then telling you you're going hungry because you didn't pack enough for him. This is not just cruel, although, as I have said before, cruelty is the purpose. But this is not just being cruel. He's demonstrating that the rules don't apply to him. Well, and that ain't new to anybody. He's always demonstrated that the rules don't apply to him. Now, it was one thing to be the rich or not so rich millionaire in debt or out of debt, what have you, who can live a lifestyle in private where the rules don't apply to him. But once you step over into this public sphere, this is another issue altogether. He can create chaos and he can punish us for it. I'm sorry to tell you this, if you didn't know already, this is the foundation of tyranny. That's all it is. Now attach this, so we put this one puzzle piece together. You know, the other headline, Trump calls for the jailing of Chicago's black mayor for, and get this, failing to protect ICE agents. You know, a comedian, you don't even have to write your jokes anymore. But we're going to decode this. Let me ask you a question. Why does a federal paramilitary force need protection from a local mayor? I mean, it's rhetorical, of course, and obvious. They don't. The question itself is, what's that phrase my father used to say? Bass backwards. Y'all know what I'm saying. The question itself is bass backwards. Now, this is where they reveal their hand. Right there in front of you. The real story is that ICE agents are tear gassing children, detaining elected officials, and assaulting even Chicago police officers. Now, I'm not jumping on the bandwagon and saying, oh my God, the poor police officers. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying everybody is getting caught up. So when Trump demands protection for the paramilitary soldiers, what he's really demanding is immunity. He wants a blank check for his enforcers to operate with zero accountability. That's what this is all about. Let's be clear about, I know y'all hate when people of a certain particular melanated hue bring up this fact of life in this country. But let's be clear about the racial target. You'll notice the party that screams states' rights suddenly goes silent when a black man in Chicago exercises those very same states' rights to protect his people. Why is that? Because it was never about principle. It was always about who holds the power. Y'all do know, incidentally, you do know Chicago was founded by a black man. Let that sink in, because it matters. They're using ICE as a standing army to occupy blue cities, to terrorize immigrant communities. As they told us themselves, we're next. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the dry run. You can like it, you can dislike it. We can duke it out on the battlefield in the comment section if you want, but this is the dry run. And I'm not even finished. So we got one big puzzle piece. We add that to a second big puzzle piece. Let's come down to the third puzzle piece. Because the headline says, and I'm not making this up, Trump openly discusses invoking the Insurrection Act. And he actually said, I'll do it if it's necessary. Don't get it twisted. This is not an off-the-cuff remark. This is not a, hot mic, whoops, didn't realize. No, this is an open, broad daylight threat. It's a signal to his base, those glorified race warriors who've been screaming and begging for him to give us the green light. This is a signal to his base and a warning to his opposition. He's literally laying the groundwork. First, you create a crisis, as fraudulent as it might be. What's the crisis, you say? The government shutdown. Now, I know there's always government shutdowns. Yeah, but there's also always a guarantee, a practice, as the reporter asked in that clip. Of course, those who get furloughed are going to get their back pay. And now he's saying, oh, well, I don't know about all of that. We got to take a look to see who's on my side. So they're creating a double crisis, the shutdown and the fear of no longer having your job, the no longer having your back pay. Then you send in your enforcers. And you claim that your enforcers are the victims, paramilitary troops. And they're the victims of bystanders. They're the victims of people holding phone cameras. They got body armor. They got bullet protecting armor. They got weapons after weapons after weapons. Their whole body is clad with weaponry. But cameras make them shake. And then after all of that, you frame any resistance as an insurrection. It's an insurrection because somebody is recording you. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, the master stroke. You deploy the military to restore order. Now he's telling the whole country, he's telling the whole world, this is the blueprint. They put it in Project 2025. And he's showing us every day. Turn the page. Here we go next. He's showing us the path from a democratic republic to a police state. You know, all of that stuff people were saying years ago. Be careful what you do. You don't want him to declare martial law. He's going to do it. He's doing it on Truth Social. He's setting it up. He's betting no one will believe him until the tanks are in the streets. He's betting no one will do anything until the tanks are in the streets. So, like I said, 3 big puzzle pieces. When you put them together, what do you get? A manufactured crisis, a weaponized federal force, and the threat of military deployment. This is not 3 separate stories. This is one story with 3 chapters. It's the testing of an apparatus. The question is no longer if they will try to fully implement this blueprint. The question is, how long will it take them to finalize it? And will we be organized enough to fight back, to stop it? That's the question. Please, let's duke it out in the comment section. Stay aware. Build your mutual aid networks underground and know your rights. Now, with that understood, this is your brother Shabazz. This is Professor Shabazz to some. This has been The Proper Perspective. Let's duke it out in the comment section. Like, share, and subscribe is always the name of the game. Hit all those buttons. It don't cost you a thing. And I will see you on the next live.